play.
Oh, interesting.
Which is not a shock. They've been touring for a long time. A lot of these artists at the top of the list have been touring a lot longer than others.
Right. So it's from 2001 to 2025. So it's based on ticket sales, not gross. So that was the metric difference. And then number 2 is U2. And then number 3 is Ed Sheeran. And then number 4, Bill,
Dave Matthews Band.
Band.
Oh, of course. Yeah, these
and
are
then
all,
Taylor.
Yeah.
And then Taylor. Yeah, massive fan bases, global artists,
known
touring forever.
Right, known for putting on great shows.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm actually
And,
surprised
by the
Paul
way-
McCartney isn't up there because same thing. Yes, Billy.
Yes. By the way, Taylor Swift, the special guest on Colbert on WBZ TV4 tonight.
That's
Tonight.
right.
Love it.
Stephen
All right.
put out a funny dance video. We'll be here for it. Billy and Lisa, thanks so much.
All right, Jason, you said we've got rain moving in this evening?
Yeah, we got a tour of rain showers moving in this evening here. We also have some scattered snow showers areas north and west of town. For the most part, friends, it's going to be the mildest day over the next 7 here. The coldest is actually going to be this upcoming Monday.
Wow. All right. Milder today. We'll wait for that rain.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be on the stream, CBS News Boston, or CBS Morning starts right now.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Right now on CBS News Boston, mild temperatures expected later today, along with rain showers moving into the region. We'll talk about the timeline and the evening commute impacts.
You know, they always have a hoax. The new word is affordability.
Also this morning, President Trump blaming Democrats for rising costs as many Americans feel the effects of inflation. We have team coverage with the influence the economy might be having on health care coverage in this state.
Today, in the Brian Walsh murder trial, we are expecting to hear from one of the last people to see Anna Walsh alive. That plus new forensic evidence revealed by scientists.
And a high-end stylist accused of fraud. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise investigators say he took from his place of work. As you look at sunrise over Boston, it just looks warmer, doesn't it? And it's going to feel a lot more mild as you head out this morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Wednesday, December 10th, I'm Paula Eben.
And I'm Chris Tanaka. We do want to get to Jason Michael with a check of that next weather forecast. Going to be warmer today than it has been, Jason, but rain also.
That is my gift for you. Not the rain, just the warmer temperatures. Chris and Paula here on this Wednesday morning. Everybody is switching out for that Arctic blast of cold air that we've been dealing with here over the past 9 days. Yesterday made day number 9 of being below average. Now we're waking up this morning with the exact opposite. We're actually nearly 20 degrees warmer from 24 hours ago in the city of Boston, nearly 30 degrees warmer over in Fitchburg and also Plymouth. Even down towards the south coast as of right now, we are seeing a sizable warm up. So we're actually not in the 40s for the city as of right now. We're just above the freezing mark, along with Bedford as well. Norwood is still right around the freezing mark there, at least feeling like it. We're in the upper 30s there once you get south and also east of the Buzzards Bay area there. Low 40s out in the Cape as of right now, and mid 40s there in Vineyard Haven. So this is giving you a preview of what we have moving in later on today. Southwest winds are the cause of all of this warmer weather. But as Chris and Paula was just teasing there, we are expecting some rain to move back in. The timeline I'm not too happy about because it could actually affect your evening commute. We'll talk much more about that coming up in just a few moments, Chris.
All right, Jason, thanks. Let's check your travel times right now. Fully involved in the commute, and you can see everything pretty much as you would expect coming up into the city from the south. 26 minutes on the expressway from the west. Almost 50 minutes on the Pike.
Well, right now we're following some breaking news in Rhode Island. More than a dozen people, including 2 babies, have been safely evacuated from a fire at this triple-decker in Central Falls. The fire broke out about 2:30 this morning on Mary Street. The chief tells us it started in the basement, spread to the 3rd floor. No injuries, but a firefighter was evaluated at the scene. We're told the cold conditions, of course, made it harder to fight the flames. A dog was rescued, and the home is a total loss. The cause of that fire will be under investigation. Shannon.
Well, mixed signals this morning on the economy and affordability. Thousands of Massachusetts residents are leaving the state's health connector before premiums go way up.
But meanwhile, President Trump is giving his administration high marks on inflation, and the Fed is expected to lower interest rates again coming up today. We have live team coverage for you. Jared Hill in New York with President Trump's economic message. But let's begin with Anna Myler at the Massachusetts State House. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, Paula and Chris. About 10,000 Massachusetts residents have dropped health plans that they obtained through the Massachusetts Health Connector. And this comes just weeks before the cost of health insurance premiums are set to go way up. So Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey is calling on President Trump and Congress to take action before the end of the year when Affordable Care Act tax credits are set to expire, leading to a drastic increase in health insurance premiums. Governor Healey says more than 300,000 Massachusetts residents could see their health insurance costs double or even triple. Senators are set to vote on this issue tomorrow. Governor Healey says if Congress and the president don't extend the tax credits, hundreds of thousands of people in Massachusetts will suffer.
A lot of them are small business owners. They're people who are self-employed. They're middle-class families, single parents all across our state. But unfortunately, because of President Trump and Republicans in Congress, these tax credits are going to expire and people are essentially going to lose their health care coverage.
The executive director of the Massachusetts Health Connector is set to testify before Congress. Now, December 23rd is the last day that people can enroll in coverage that will start on January 1st. The state has now set up a portal on the Health Connector website to help people navigate this situation. Live at the State House, Anna Myler, WBZ News.
Thanks. Many Americans say they are really feeling the squeeze of inflation as they're out shopping for the holidays.
Yeah, at a rally in Pennsylvania last night, President Trump actually claimed his administration is crushing it on the economy. Jared Hill's in New York with more on that.
Chris and Paula, President Trump went after Democrats for their focus on the affordability issue, which has helped them win a couple of recent elections. Meanwhile, as some Americans tell CBS News, President Trump isn't spending enough time tackling the economy and inflation. Last night, he went on defense. In a campaign-style rally,
I have no higher priority than making America affordable again.
President Trump touted economic wins to a crowd in battleground Pennsylvania and blamed Democrats for high prices nearly a year into his second term.
They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down.
According to AAA, gas prices are down 6 cents compared to this time last year. But government data shows general energy costs are up 2.8%. And while overall inflation was falling, it drifted back up when Trump imposed sweeping tariffs.
The economy is not good. I don't see promises being kept.
In a Politico interview, the president gave himself this grade on the economy.
A+.
A plus.
Yeah, A+++++.
Top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries disagrees.
Donald Trump and Republicans have done nothing to lower the high cost of living.
Tuesday, President Trump veered from the economy to immigration, attacking Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, a U.S. citizen born in Somalia.
She's here illegally. She should get the hell out.
On social media, Omar called the comments bigoted lies. Going back to the economy, the Federal Reserve is set to announce whether it'll cut interest rates at its meeting today. They'll be making the decision without some key government data like jobs and inflation numbers, which will not come out until the middle of the month because of the government shutdown. Jared Hill, WBZ News.
Well, today, the jury in the Brian Walsh murder trial is expected to hear key testimony from friends of the Walshes who actually spent time with them just hours before Anna's death. Yesterday, prosecutors introduced items allegedly dumped by Walsh that had Anna's DNA on them. They also showed a bloody hacksaw and towels from the Walsh's basement. Now, the defense says because those did not contain Brian Walsh's DNA and that no blood spatter was found, it supports their theory that while he dismembered Anna, he did not kill her. A state forensics expert and our legal analyst disagreed.
Blood stains can be virtually eliminated by something as simple as water. So if somebody did a cleanup job, as the prosecution is alleging Brian Walsh did here, and he used things like hydrogen peroxide, which we know they found in the house, and we have surveillance videos of him buying the hydrogen peroxide spray, that fed really nicely into the prosecution's theory that Brian Walsh killed her and then cleaned up as much as he could.
Yesterday ended with new surveillance footage of Walsh buying items like towels and bath mats in the days after Anna's death. You can always watch the Brian Walsh trial live right here on CBS News Boston.
Federal prosecutors will not seek the death penalty for former Stoughton police detective Matthew Farwell. Farwell is accused of killing Sandra Birchmore and her unborn child to cover up their relationship, which prosecutors say started when she was a minor. Birchmore's death was initially ruled a suicide, and Farwell has pleaded not guilty.
Well, Bruna Ferreira, the mother of White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt's nephew, has been released by ICE custody. She was arrested in Revere last month for allegedly overstaying her tourist visa as a child. Now, Ferreira's attorney says she was freed on bond from a Louisiana ICE facility Monday, is now back in Massachusetts. Her case has been transferred to Boston's immigration court.
A wardrobe stylist at Saks Fifth Avenue in Boston, who's known for outfitting a lot of socialites in the greater Boston area, is accused of stealing more than $400,000 from the store. The court documents show Sohail Quatra was caught last month. He's accused of making fraudulent refunds for items originally purchased by wealthy customers and then turning those refunds into gift cards to buy items for himself. Quatra worked at Saks for 20 years. He is set to face a judge next week.
All right, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, a call for transparency from Boston city leaders. I'll tell you the information one counselor wants made public about the White Stadium project and school closure plans.
Miss Janet Jackson looking at Boston on this Wednesday morning. Boy, people are going to be dancing out the door today, Jason, because it is 20 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. A little rain on the way, but I think we'll take it.
I've been saying for months now, we need a WBZ playlist for in the morning here. All right, everybody, let's talk about your weather headlines on your Wednesday morning. Obviously, it's Wednesday, so we start to look ahead at the weekend here. Mild temperatures climbing into the mid to upper 40s later today, and some areas actually nearing 50 degrees. Evening showers are poised to develop later on this evening here, so take along the rain gear, find that umbrella, and dust it off the air. High winds and cold air will actually be moving back into the region for Thursday and Friday, but they would not be the coldest days of the next 7. We'll talk about that as well, but today will no doubt be the warmest of the next 7. Keeping an eye on some game day snow for this upcoming Sunday. We'll focus on that as well, but enjoy the 20 to 30 degree warm up that we have outside. Oh my goodness, t-shirt and shorts type of weather there. We are still right around the freezing mark here in the city, so we actually had some reports of black ice earlier this morning from a good friend of mine here at WBZ. The mid to lower 40s on the Cape and the islands as of right now, so it's keeping things relatively balmy out there. We can take these southwest winds anywhere between 10 and 15 miles per hour. So the rain showers later this evening will be ramping up after the 4 p.m. hour, at least through dinner time and likely around bedtime as well. But I am not, and I do repeat, I am not expecting a washout by any means, nor a deluge. It'll just kind of slow you down a little bit and maybe add a little bit of wet conditions there on the pavement. So we'll be around 47 degrees here in the city. Sounds really good, right? Around 50 degrees south on the South Shore there, and the islands roughly around 50 degrees. But the islands have not that far to go. They're already about 45 degrees. After the system passes through, then we power on the wind tunnel, okay? We're expecting winds to gust anywhere between 40 and 50 miles per hour for the Cape tomorrow. So any inflatables in the yard, please do a double check and secure those, or you may or may not find it, or it may become your neighbor's problem. Increasing clouds likely later today here, friends, and then we start to get the wet weather moving back in. Notice the timeline right around the drive at 5. So Worcester, you're absolutely going to be dealing with some wet weather there. West of Worcester, you're likely to be dealing with some scattered snow showers. So this range and the high terrain will likely get anywhere between 1 and 3 inches over the next 24 hours. Meanwhile, downstream there, inside 495, Boston will likely still be dealing with just a couple spot showers. I'm still not expecting a whole lot, and perhaps even some areas down toward the South Shore and Cape may not even get anything at all. Once the system passes again, we have that colder weather moving back in, and this is sort of the nexus of this gyre of low pressure as of right now. Getting more wintry mix there moving through the Cleveland area and northeast Ohio. They've actually been pummeled so far, and we actually haven't even made it to winter officially yet. That's arriving for us on December 21st there. A few flakes now beginning to push into central Mass as of right now. It's actually going to be more of a visual than anything. No accumulations likely there. Let's talk about the wind gust forecast here, friends. Okay, this is by tomorrow morning, roughly around mid-morning there, expecting around 25 to 30 mile per hour gusts. They go up from there. So even as we head towards the afternoon and evening hours, around 40 mile per hour gusts, at least over in P-Town. Let's go even further out, okay? How about this? Around 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, 35 mile per hour gusts here nearly in the city, and 40 plus for the islands there, and nearing 50 over in P-Town. As we get into the weekend, though, we're still going to keep those temperatures in the lower 30s, right around freezing. There are a few extra flakes likely kind of tiptoeing through the region on Sunday. We'll focus on that this next half hour. And as we look towards Monday and Tuesday, temperatures going down yet again. We're beginning another week with a very cold Monday here, friends. But again, we'll try to right the ship.
We appreciate it, Jason. Thanks. 2 dolphins are undergoing an evaluation after they were rescued in Wareham. The Wareham Department of Natural Resources says these dolphins became stranded near Beaver Creek during low tide on Monday morning, and both dolphins were pulled from the marsh and then checked out. It's not clear when they'll be released. Happening this morning, Boston City Councilor at Large Julia Mejia is going to hold a press conference demanding updated cost estimates for the White Stadium renovation project. Now, Mejia says that residents deserve more transparency about rising costs as the city deals with significant fiscal pressures. She has also filed a resolution calling for Boston Public Schools to better include the public in decisions to permanently close certain schools and move students around. She wants the district to release the data that's informing those decisions. A new law banning children under 16 from social media is now in effect in Australia. This is a first of its kind ban anywhere in the world. And WBZ's Samantha Cheney live in our satellite center with the controversy behind it and whether a ban like this could happen here as well. Sam?
Well, Paula, it definitely is a conversation starter. We know that. And while Australia's Prime Minister says this decision came from parents whose children were suffering from some mental health effects from social media use, others say that the ban hurts democracy and free speech. The new law bans children under the age of 16 from using social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, Kick, Reddit, Twitch, and X. While gaming and messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Discord, and Roblox, they'll still be available. We're told companies that don't block kids could face a fine of up to $33 million. The decision has sparked outrage across the country. Some say it's necessary, while others, they say they disagree.
Why are they not trusting us with the responsibility of having an account? Like, a lot of my friends have jobs, especially at this age.
I think the government has to do something, and I think if it's successful in Australia, which I think it probably will be, the rest of the world will probably follow.
Now, the tech industry has disagreed with Australia's ban, but companies, they say they'll implement it with age verification technology. Some lawmakers here in the U.S., they have also pushed for regulations just like this one, but so far nothing has come together.
Samantha Cheney in the Satellite Center. We appreciate it. Thank you. Well, this morning, a man in Worcester is showing off his impressive holiday yard decorations, but it's also helping raise money for a good cause. Levin is out live with an up-close look at his display. And Levin, we know it attracts visitors from all over the state.
Yeah. And Paula, as I always say, when you can show off and have a cause behind it, then show off. Then might as well do it. We're here with Alex Cornwell as we look at the Cornwell holiday display. You started this in 2019. How many did you have in 2019?
40. Started with 40.
And how did you start to go for it?
So I've actually been buying out local displays that have been calling it quits. I would buy 40 at a time, so we just grew exponentially. And then at the end of every season, I go to every Lowe's and Home Depot in the state. I go about 8 hours a day for like 3 days buying everything on sale because these things are so expensive.
I've got to ask you, how great does it make you feel that, one, you get a chance to see the faces of families who come through here and love it, but two, that you're doing it for a great cause?
Yeah, that's the whole reason I do it. I do it for the children. I do it for all the faces, smiling, laughing, screaming, oh my God, look at that guy. He's so huge.
Yeah.
And then also to donate to a great charity. It just brings such warmth to my heart.
Why me and Sherry's house, obviously real close to your heart. Yeah. Tell me about why that's so important.
So when I was 6 months old, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I spent 3 years in the hospital. And Why Me and Sherry's House helped my family out so much, and I just wanted to give back to them the way they helped us.
Is there anything that's your favorite in here? I know I have mine. Do you have yours?
Favorite? That'd be all the big guys. I have all my 20-footers over here. Uh-huh. Those are my favorites.
Okay. I was saying I love anything to do with the minions that are in the corner. Yep. And as you can see, as Garth is looking at the back there, this has got to be a phenomenal thing. And I know you also do it for Halloween.
Yes. For Halloween, we had 170 this year. Mm-hmm. So it takes me 4 weeks to set this up. I have to take Halloween down. That takes about a week. And then I have 3 weeks to put all of these up.
I would tell you, Paul, we're looking at 270. This is a man who really likes inflatables. In case you didn't get that. I mean, he's talking about, like, do you do anything for Easter?
I have 30, I think, in the front yard.
You know what's funny? I was joking. I was joking.
Love it, and I thought
answered me.
Only 30?
We have birthday season. I have 10 birthday cake inflatables.
This birthday season when he also has 10 birthday cake inflatables. I mean,
oh, come on.
Just drive by his house. Just drive by his house.
He can do better than that. Tell him by Easter I want to see more than 30 inflatables out there. All right, Levin Reed, thank you so much. Just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, you'll hear from Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel as the team aims to clinch a playoff spot when they face the Bills on Sunday. Massachusetts officials have issued a safety alert following the state's first confirmed case of silicosis. That is a potentially fatal but preventable lung disease which occurs in people who've inhaled silica dust. Public health officials are especially warning employers in the stone countertop industry. That's where silica dust is most common, and there is no cure for silicosis. A celebrity from Dorchester was spotted on the North Shore visiting an iconic Saugus restaurant. Donnie Wahlberg loves the Kowloon, the star of the new crime drama Boston Blue on CBS and WBZ, posed for this photo with an employee there last night. The Kowloon, which turned 75 this year, told him he's welcome back anytime. Time to sneeze. And it's back to work today for the Patriots after an off day Tuesday. A lot on the line Sunday against the Bills. The Pats can clinch the AFC East title and a playoff spot with a win. So the Pats already beat Buffalo on the road in Week 5 in prime time on a Sunday night. The Pats were big underdogs in that game. Head coach Mike Vrabel knows Sunday's going to be just as tough.
This is a very good football team. There's a reason that they've won this division 5 years in a row. A lot of respect for them. They're never out of it. They may be down, and just like last week, it's a football team that understands that somebody's going to make a play, and then the quarterback is going to give them a chance to the very end.
So, start your Sunday with Patriots game day at 11:30 on WBZ. The Pats and Bills kick off at 1 o'clock. Also on BZ, followed by the fifth quarter postgame show, which is over on TV 38. Up next, one of the biggest stars on the planet is dropping by The Late Show tonight. Can you guess who it is?
You're watching WBZ News.
Happening today, Governor Healy is going to announce some new initiatives aimed at making it easier and cheaper to build accessory dwelling units. These are small living spaces built on the same lot as another home. Last year's Affordable Homes Act allowed ADUs to be built in single-family zoning districts statewide. The governor hopes this will help ease the state's housing crisis. David Wade dove into the concept as part of WBZ's Question Everything series. You can watch his story on our website, WBZ.com. Taylor Swift's new Eras Tour docuseries drops on Friday. It's going to be huge, of course. But before that, she's dropping in on a familiar late night show. Stephen Colbert posted this video showing him dancing to Swift's song Opalite. The singer will appear on The Late Show tonight. You can watch that after WBZ News at 11. Still to come in our next half hour, bullet holes found in Christmas decorations, the search to find the first person responsible.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Cannabis cafes are one step closer to reality in Massachusetts. The vote set for this week that would let them open up shop. Also, cutting down your commute with the help of AI, the tool that analyzes traffic to keep cars moving. And from rats to rotten sidewalks, how city leaders are taking on Boston's biggest problems. Welcome back. I'm Paula Eben. Massachusetts could see cannabis cafes pretty soon. This week, the state's Cannabis Control Commission is set to vote on new rules giving businesses the green light to allow adults to legally consume pot products. The vote is expected to pass, and WBZ's Louisa Moeller has more on what that would entail.
Right off the hustle and bustle of Newbury Street, Rooted In Dispensary has an array of marijuana products, supporting Black, women-owned, and LGBTQ+ growers.
Yeah, come on in. So this is our VIP room and our VIP experience here at Rooted In.
But just days after their third birthday, Rooted In founder Brian Keith already has visions of the dispensary's next venture.
Once the regulations do get to the point where we can, serve and consume, we're excited to do that right here in the VIP room.
Keith is talking about social consumption, places where customers can use what they buy right there in the shop.
I think it just helps a whole swath of people who just may not own their homes and may not have the ability to say, you know what, I want to consume this, I want to consume this now.
His dream may not be far off.
I am pleased that, as promised, we're going to be able to get this finished.
In an exclusive interview with WBZ, the chair of the Cannabis Control Commission, the regulatory body which oversees the cannabis industry, told us social consumption regulations should be approved this coming Thursday. The first licenses will only be available for members of the CCC's Social Equity Program.
Those persons who've been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs.
After that, each municipality can decide if they want pot cafes, lounges, or even yoga studios. Health and Safety Commissioner Kimberly Roy says the regulations will include safeguards.
We mandated that licensees must have a ride-share plan, that they cannot commingle alcohol with cannabis.
Once formally approved, the regulations will go to the Secretary of State's office for printing, and then it could be months or over a year before the first social consumption licenses are issued. In Boston, Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
All right, Louisa, thanks so much. And let's take a look at the State House on a Wednesday morning and check in with Jason Michael, because it's going to be kind of a nice surprise to step outside this morning and realize how much more mild it is out there.
I came in with a light coat there this morning there, Paula. Temperatures are back around freezing, and we can deal with that here in New England after the teens and even sub-zero wind chills that we actually been experiencing earlier this week. And to be frank, the past 9 days, we've been below average here. But look at the soft glow that we have on the horizon again this morning. Sunrise was right around about 7:03, 7:04. So we are expecting milder conditions to move back in. So even though we're right around freezing as of right now, the mid to upper 40s is actually going to be moving in. And we're actually still kind of pushing back the sunrise time and the sunset there. 4:11 will be our sunset later today. So we can thank these southwest winds moving into the region 10 to 15 miles per hour for that warmer air mass that we have outside as of right now. 20 to 30 degrees warmer from 24 hours ago. So we'll take that and we'll carry it right on into our afternoon. So I mentioned earlier, we are right around freezing as of right now, just a couple degrees warmer than the freezing mark in Boston. We had some earlier reports of some black ice. But as we start to get more of the people moving about here this morning and more cars on the roadways and certainly warmer air moving back in, that will no longer be a threat. But I still have it elevated in terms of a morning commute concern. As we push into the afternoon, I'm expecting more of these upper 40s and lower 50s for afternoon highs there. And that means we're breaking the streak of 9 days being below average. Today, day number 10, we're going to be warmer than average. So that is the first thing on our weather headlines. High winds and colder air taking over behind the system as we look towards our Thursday and our Friday. We'll talk about that. And also talk about the weekend, of course. It is Wednesday, so we'll also have to focus on what lies ahead for our Saturday and Sunday. So those details coming up, Paula.
Never too soon to talk about the weekend. Jason, thank you. Let's take a look at this morning's commute. And typical split to the Mass Pike, but a little bit longer. 495 there to the Leverett Connector. Look at that. Almost an hour now, 495 to Boston on the Pike eastbound. Well, drivers in Woburn could be spending less time waiting at red lights pretty soon. Thanks to artificial intelligence, the city's trying out a new AI traffic system called No Traffic. It monitors intersections with video and radar, using that real-time data to adjust wait times at lights. And the company says it improves safety for both drivers and pedestrians. The goal is to prevent traffic jams, of course, and improve efficiency.
You're sitting at a light, it's middle of the night, it's red for you. It's green in the other directions and you're not moving. So it solves those problems, but also uses more intelligence to be aware of who and what is at the intersection. And based upon that, makes the decisions in real time about what's the best, most efficient, and also the safest way to move all the traffic.
Well, the city of Boston's been working with Google on a similar project. They tested a handful of intersections last year, and now they're using AI research to make signaling more efficient at 114 different intersections. A New Hampshire mother's facing charges after police say her daughter ate a THC gummy. Nashua police say that they got word that Paige Goulet's 6-year-old daughter was hospitalized after eating the gummy last month. While the little girl was being treated, police say she also tested positive for cocaine. Investigators say Goulet failed to care for her daughter and tried to have a witness not cooperate with the investigation as well. Her daughter has since been removed from the home. A man's facing animal cruelty charges after a traffic stop in West Bridgewater. And we do want to warn you, some of these images you might find disturbing. This all unfolded when an officer pulled a driver over who ran a red light last month. But that's when the officer noticed a severely malnourished dog in the car. This 9-month-old named Sprout was taken to a veterinary hospital for medical care. When police determined that the driver was the puppy's owner, Devin Preeper of Taunton was charged with animal cruelty. He's due in court later this month. Police in New Hampshire are searching for the person who shot at Christmas decorations. This happened yesterday morning in Bow. You can see a bullet hole in this gingerbread man on Risingwood Drive. The 2 inflatable snowmen weren't hit, and officers are asking neighbors to check their surveillance cameras to see if they could capture anything suspicious. Trash piles, broken sidewalks, and rats. Some of the everyday issues Boston residents have been dealing with for years. But according to city leaders, leaders, there are new efforts to tackle the biggest problems out there. WBZ's Aaron Parsegian has more on the plans.
Rats, trash, streets, and sidewalks. When there's a problem with any of those, it's probably one of the first things you notice.
It's the stuff that truly impact our residents on a day-to-day.
And with 2025 coming to an end, Boston City leaders and Mayor Michelle Wu are highlighting ramped-up efforts to tackle pesky problems. They're prioritizing.
Because Boston families deserve a government that fixes problems and follows through.
Over the past year, she says the city's 311 line has answered more than 260,000 calls, responding to anything from potholes to missed trash pickups, though the mayor says those are down more than 10% from last year.
Our teams continue to close the vast majority of missed trash cases within 24 hours.
It's an especially important effort in the fight against rodents. This year included new methods of taking out rats, using sensors to track where they're moving, and installing these new trash barrels to stop them from feeding.
2025 was not a good year for rats in Boston. 2026 won't be any better.
And what about the roads you drive on? The city says they've filled thousands of potholes and resurfaced more than 50 miles of street.
For context, we did 24 miles in 2024.
But for pedestrians, there's still a backlog to fix broken sidewalks, highlighted by our recent Question Everything story on State Street.
The sidewalks aren't taken care of.
Leaders say they have fixed 37,000 feet of sidewalk around the city this year and continue urging residents to highlight and report any problems they come across. The mayor says she's committed to making sure tax dollars are used where residents feel it most.
No excuses at the city level. Our residents expect and demand the very best from us, and it is an honor to try and deliver that every single day and to keep improving what we're doing.
In Boston, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ News.
When we come back, actress Diane Kruger talks about her role in a new psychological thriller premiering on Paramount Plus tomorrow. Take a look at sunrise in Boston. Yeah, here comes sunrise. We're down to what, 10 days or so?
What is it, the 10th? Oh, 15 days.
Oh, he's on the way. He is on the way. And you were on the nice list this morning, Jason, because at least it's a little bit warmer as we're out there doing errands, even though a little rain is on the way.
Yeah. It makes being on the nice list a little bit easier here this morning. I've probably been on the naughty list the past week or so here, friends. We're breaking the streak today, which is great news. We're no longer dealing with those colder than average temperatures. We're going into the upper 40s later today. Some shower activity will begin to develop. It is not as cold this morning as it has been here. We were talking about some single digit and sub-zero wind chills there, and even teens in the city. We're in the mid to upper 30s across some areas there, and even in the mid 40s across the islands as of right now here, but also had some early reports of black ice, so just watch for that heading out again this morning. Right around the 40s, you can see there in areas south there along the south coast, mid 40s for the islands as well. That axis of colder air is just right along the Mass Pike and north and west of town there. But again, not as cold, okay? We can deal with the freezing mark here this morning, coming off of what we've actually been dealing with here the past week or so. 10-mile-per-hour winds in the city as of right now, coming straight out of the southwest. Those are warming winds for us here, and they remain on the warm side as we head into the afternoon, around 47 degrees. That is going to be my forecast high for today. And just in case you're wondering, 44 is the average daytime high for today. So we're actually going to be going above that. That is the first thing on my weather headlines for you this morning. Colder air moving in behind it Thursday and Friday. Again, not going to be the coldest days of the next 7. But with those rain chances ramping up as we near the evening commute, that bears a little bit of extra attention for us here this morning. So let's talk about it. I am not expecting a whole lot of rain over the next 24 hours or so. The bulk of the rain will likely be north and west of town, where the coldest temperatures are likely there. We also have a scattered flakes moving into the region as that frontal system works its way out of here. And then tomorrow, we're actually talking about wind gusts back in the forecast. Not just a little, I'm talking about a lot. So here's the hour-by-hour forecast. Notice cloud cover begin to ramp up as we near the midday hour later today. I think we're actually going to be dealing with more of a filtered and veiled sunshine start to our Wednesday morning, and cloud cover will be taking over for the rest of the afternoon through the evening hours. Let's check out how things unfold as temperatures warm up and then begin to cool back down. We'll have those southwest winds in and around the area before the front moves on in. We have a warm front moving in, so this is why we're going to be warmer there. Scattered rain showers. I think this is actually going to be light to moderate, at least through about bedtime later this evening. And then as that colder air begins to move on in here, it begins to settle on down just at the time that a lot of the drier air will begin to take over. So as the colder air settles down to the surface, we allow for, I think, actually some blowing flakes more or less than anything. We may get a bit of a dusting there, but with the rain already on the ground, I think pretty much we're not really going to have a whole lot there. So I'm just going to go for a dusting in central and also eastern Mass because of the rain and also the mild temperatures. But in the higher elevations, we're talking about roughly around a couple inches or so, 2 to 3 to be exact. In terms of current radar as of right now, we have some blowing flakes now beginning to push in towards the lower region as of right now. So this is actually going to kind of wane a little bit further as well. We're trying to get some of that snow showers kind of move downstream there on the leading edge of that frontal boundary. But as we look at the wind gusts by tomorrow midday, we're going to be around 30 to 35-mile-per-hour gust. It goes up from there. We're talking about 35 to 40-mile-per-hour gusts for the South Shore, perhaps even the upper tip of the Cape there. And even as we go throughout the evening hours, we're talking about nearing 50-mile-per-hour gust for P-Town. Okay, so it's going to be very gusty. Just go take a little extra gander at some of your inflatables. Make sure that they are properly secured as temperatures go down into the 30s for the rest of the 7-day. Monday now will be the coldest. Staying in the 20s, Paula.
Good to know. Jason, thanks. It might be rainy and cloudy today, but look at the brighter side. We are going to be warmer if that motivates you to go out for a walk. The Alston-Brighton neighborhood's always a great place to start. Just grab an umbrella.
You know, there's a saying, you can't make new old friends. And the same goes for bars. Walking Boston on Western Ave in Alston-Brighton. I gotta be honest, for months I looked at Western Ave and thought, what can I talk about given its historical significance running between Cambridge and Watertown in the old days? In the end, I just decided to pour one out for the bucket. I'm talking about the old bus stop pub. Used to be right there. Just a good place people could go for a bucket of beers and some food. Years ago, I used to play in a softball league. We'd walk right up this path, cross Western Ave, and settle up at the bucket. Everything now is so fancy and Instagrammable. The drinks gotta look pretty. The backgrounds have to be photogenic. Bucket was just a good place with good vibes. So yeah, I was sad when I moved back in 2022 to learn that it had closed 4 years prior, because losing that old bar, like losing an old friend.
Yeah, the bucket was great. For more of Chris's Walking Boston series, you can watch on his TikTok or Instagram pages at Chris Tanaka, WBZ. We're learning more about a massive fire at an apartment building in Taunton. We were bringing you this breaking news yesterday morning. Investigators say the building on Hopkins Road had working alarms, but no sprinkler system. Firefighters rescued 5 people from the complex, including a family of 3 with a small child. And more than a dozen residents were forced out into that bitter cold. Several of them were treated for smoke inhalation.
The flames are coming out through the bedroom window like this. I'm saying, oh my God, nobody's going to survive that.
It's a miracle nobody had passed away from it, really. Somebody was definitely watching over the unit.
Investigators believe the fire started in a first-floor unit, but no word yet on a cause. Well, it's an annual tradition like no other. Boston police officers took hundreds of children on a holiday shopping spree last night.
What did you think when you found out you were going to get to do this?
I was like, because they knew that if they invited my sister and not me, that I would be mad, so they had to invite me.
So you got to come too, and were you so excited?
Yeah!
Our Julie McDonald was at the South Bay Target for the annual Shop with a Cop event. Close to 400 kids were each given $100 to spend however they wanted to, but so many of the kids weren't shopping for themselves.
I got this remote control because I wanted to give it to my brother for Christmas.
I got this Barbie doll for my little sister, and then I got my favorite book plushies so I can find the books.
This is the 17th year the Boston Police Department has put on this event. Moving to sports and making 3 wins in a row for the Bees. They beat their former coach, Jim Montgomery, and the St. Louis Blues last night. David Pastrnak was back in the lineup after missing 5 games with that lower body injury. He had 2 assists on the night. Mark Kastelik and Fraser Minton each scored 2. Bruins win it 5-2. They'll be in Winnipeg to face the Jets tomorrow.
We need you to stand back.
Oh my God!
How did this happen? Speak to me.
Diane Kruger stars in a new psychological thriller that focuses on a decade-long friendship between 4 mothers who have very little in common, but they've been there for each other throughout their journey of motherhood. Based on a best-selling novel by Sarah Vaughan, Little Disasters tells the story of a perfect stay-at-home mom who takes her baby daughter to the hospital with a head injury she cannot explain. This puts the on-duty doctor, also her close friend, in a tough spot, deciding whether or not to involve authorities. WBZ's Brianna Pitt spoke with the award-winning actress to learn more about this new series.
When you were reading the book, reading the script, what about it to you, because I know you're a mom, was most unsettling or kind of scary?
Pretty much all of it. It felt, it was a page turner to read. I hadn't read the book before I got the script, so I was very curious of what happened to baby Betsy. And just like the first episode, when you first meet Jess, my character, you don't really know what's up with her. She's definitely off and acting strange. And then as the episodes unravel, you get to really see what's going on in her head, and that was very much present in the scripts, and it kept me so entertained and wanting to know more of that. And then of course, being a mom myself, it felt very real. It felt very realistic of how they describe motherhood and the challenges that come with it.
You can watch Brianna's full interview with Diane Kruger on our YouTube page. Just search for CBS News Boston. All of the episodes of Little Disasters will be available to stream tomorrow on Paramount+. Coming up right after the break, the United Nations is on the verge of making a major declaration about Italian food.
You're watching WBZ News.
Italian cuisine could be named a global cultural treasure. UNESCO is expected to decide today whether to add Italian cooking to its official heritage list. The designation would go beyond the food itself, honoring the social tradition that unites communities and brings families and generations together through shared rituals and recipes. Traditions like pressing olive oil, aging cheeses, and pasta making preserve ancient techniques and date back centuries. Neapolitan pizza, by the way, was already named a UNESCO heritage, given that status back in 2017. I'm Paula Evan. You're watching CBS News Boston. We'll be back right after the break. But first, here's a look at what's ahead at 8 o'clock. A key witness is set to testify in the Brian Walsh murder trial today. Plus, new DNA evidence revealed in the case. And we continue to follow breaking news out of Rhode Island this morning, where more than a dozen people, including 2 babies, have been safely evacuated from a fire at a triple-decker home in Central Falls. That's all coming up at 8. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more news and your next weather forecast.
Welcome to your very warm Wednesday, everybody. How about it? We're going into the upper 40s and low 50s later today, even though we have some rain showers moving in just around the evening commute. We are expecting a little bit of dusting as we near the end of the evening, heading into the overnight, with temperatures getting back into the upper 20s and low 30s tomorrow. High winds would be a major threat for our Thursday. We're going to cruise back to around freezing through the weekend. Coldest air in the next 7, next Monday.
Jason, thanks. Our top story, police in New Hampshire are searching for the person who shot at a family's Christmas decorations. This happened yesterday morning in Bow. Officers are asking neighbors to check surveillance cameras to see if they captured anything suspicious there. CBS Mornings continues now next here on WBZ.
Right now on CBS News Boston, dropping health insurance, why thousands of Massachusetts residents are doing it, and what the president is saying about the economy. And the key witness expected to testify today in the Brian Walsh trial as prosecutors detail DNA evidence in the case. And he's known for being a personal shopper for socialites in Greater Boston, but now he's accused of ripping off an iconic Back Bay store.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us. It is Wednesday, December 10th. I'm Brianna Pitts. Mixed signals this morning on the economy and affordability. Thousands of Massachusetts residents are leaving the state's health connector before premiums go up. Meanwhile, President Trump is giving his administration high marks on inflation, while the Fed is expected to lower interest rates again today. We do have team coverage. Jared Hill is in New York with President Trump's economic message, but we begin with Anna Myler at the State House.
About 10,000 Massachusetts residents have dropped health plans that they obtained through the Massachusetts Health Connector. This comes just weeks before the cost of health insurance premiums are set to go way up. So Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey is calling on President Trump and on Congress to take action before the end of the year when Affordable Care Act tax credits are set to expire, leading to a drastic increase in health insurance premiums. Governor Healey says more than 300,000 Massachusetts residents could see their health insurance costs double or even triple. Senators are set to vote on this issue tomorrow. Governor Healey says if Congress and the president don't extend the tax credits, hundreds of thousands of people in Massachusetts will suffer.
A lot of them are small business owners. They're people who are self-employed. They're middle-class families, single parents, all across our state. But unfortunately, because of President Trump and Republicans in Congress, these tax credits are going to expire and people are essentially going to lose their health care coverage.
The executive director of the Massachusetts Health Connector is set to testify before Congress. Now, December 23rd is the last day that people can enroll in coverage that will start on January 1st. The state has now set up a portal on the Health Connector website to help people navigate this situation. In Boston, Anna Myler, WBZ News.
A noticeably warmer start to the morning here as opposed to what we've been dealing with here for the past 9 days across southern New England, especially in Boston. No longer dealing with the teens and even single digits, nor even the sub-zero wind chills again this morning. We are actually in the 30s here and just above the freezing mark in the city as of right now. We also had some reports of some black ice again earlier this morning, so just some extra caution and heads up there. We're also going to put you back into a yellow light for the rest of the afternoon, mainly around the evening commute there. We are expecting a range of the upper 40s and lower 50s. But it's mainly due to some rain showers moving back in. Check out where we are right now, everybody. 36 degrees in the city right now. Mid to lower 40s for the islands as well as the Cape there. 36 also in Plymouth. 38 degrees on the south coast for our friends down there in New Bedford, and still in the upper 20s there over in Worcester, and just above the freezing mark over in Bedford. We can thank these southwest winds for the warm up that we're experiencing for our Wednesday there. Temperature is going to be climbing into about the upper 40s around the city. 50 degrees almost for the South Shore, Cape, and even the islands there. 50 possibly for us in New Bedford, Taunton, even on the islands later today with those winds due south. That is the first thing on our weather headlines on this Wednesday, everybody. The milder temperatures, the 50s. Never felt so good. As we start to see the evening commute wind down here, high winds and cold air moves back in for the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. And of course, we're keeping an eye on a bit of a flaky snow chance for us on Sunday for game day. We'll talk about the coldest of the next 7 because today will be the warmest of the next 7. A lot of details unfolding in the full weather forecast.
Well, we are following breaking news in Rhode Island. More than a dozen people, including 2 babies, have been safely evacuated from a fire at a triple-decker home in Central Falls. That fire broke out around 2:30 this morning on Mary Street. The chief tells us the fire started in the basement and spread up to the 3rd floor. No injuries were reported, although a firefighter was evaluated at the scene. We're told the cold conditions made it harder to fight the flames, and a dog was also rescued. At home is a total loss, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, many Americans say they are feeling the squeeze of inflation as they shop for the holidays. At a rally in Pennsylvania last night, President Trump claimed his administration is crushing it on the economy. Jared Hill is in New York with more on that speech and the reaction.
in a campaign-style rally.
I have no higher priority than making America affordable again.
President Trump touted economic wins to a crowd in battleground Pennsylvania and blamed Democrats for high prices nearly a year into his second term.
They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down.
According to AAA, gas prices are down 6 cents compared to this time last year, but government data shows general energy costs are up 2.8%. And while overall inflation was falling, it drifted back up when Trump imposed sweeping tariffs.
The economy is not good. I don't see promises being kept.
In a Politico interview, the president gave himself this grade on the economy.
A+.
A+.
Yeah, A+++++.
Top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries disagrees.
Donald Trump and Republicans have done nothing to lower the high cost of living.
Tuesday, President Trump veered from the economy to immigration, attacking Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, a U.S. citizen born in Somalia.
She's here illegally. She should get the hell out.
On social media, Omar called the comments bigoted lies. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, today, the jury in the Brian Walsh murder trial is expected to hear key testimony from a friend of the Walshes who spent time with them hours before Anna's death. Yesterday, prosecutors introduced items allegedly dumped by Walsh that had Anna's DNA on them. They also showed a bloody hacksaw and towels from the Walsh's basement. The defense says because those didn't contain Brian Walsh's DNA and no blood spatter was found there, it supports their theory that he dismembered Anna but didn't kill her. A state forensic expert and our legal analyst disagreed.
Blood stains can be virtually eliminated by something as simple as water. So if somebody did a cleanup job, as the prosecution is alleging Brian Walsh did here, and he used things like hydrogen peroxide, which we know they found in the house, and we have surveillance videos of him buying the hydrogen peroxide spray, that fed really nicely into the prosecution's theory that Brian Walsh killed her and then cleaned up as much as he could.
Well, yesterday ended with new surveillance footage of Walsh buying items like towels and bath mats in the days after Anna's death. You can watch the Brian Walsh trial live on CBS News Boston. You can find it on the CBS News app, WBZ.com, and Pluto TV. Well, federal prosecutors are not seeking the death penalty for former Stoughton police detective Matthew Farwell. He's accused of killing Sandra Birchmore and her unborn child to cover up their relationship, which prosecutors say started when she was a minor. Birchmore's death was initially ruled a suicide. Farwell has pleaded not guilty. Well, Bruna Ferreira, the mother of the White House press secretary's nephew, has been released by ICE custody. She was arrested in Revere last month for allegedly overstaying her tourist visa as a child. Ferreira's lawyer says she was freed on a bond from a Louisiana ICE facility Monday and is now back in Massachusetts. Her case has been transferred to Boston's immigration court. Well, Massachusetts officials have issued a safety alert following the state's first confirmed case of silicosis. It's a potentially fatal but preventable lung disease that occurs in people who have inhaled silica dust. Public health officials are especially warning employees in the stone countertop industry, where silica dust is most common. There is no cure. Well, a wardrobe stylist at Saks Fifth Avenue, who's known for outfitting socialites in the greater Boston area, is accused of stealing more than $400,000 from the store. Court documents show that Suhal Quatra was caught last month. He's accused of making fraudulent refunds for items originally purchased by wealthy customers and then turning those refunds into gift cards to buy things for himself. He worked for Saks for 20 years. He is set to face a judge next week. Well, it is back to work today for the Patriots after an off day on Tuesday. A lot is on the line Sunday against the Bills. The Pats can clinch the AFC East title and a playoff spot with a win. They already beat Buffalo on the road in Week 5 in prime time on Sunday night. The Pats were big underdogs in that game, and head coach Mike Vrabel knows Sunday will be just as tough.
This is a very good football team. There's a reason that they've won this division 5 years in a row. A lot of respect for them. They're never out of it. They may be down, and just like last week, it's a football team that understands that, somebody's going to make a play, and then the quarterback is going to give them a chance to the very end.
Well, you can start your Sunday with Patriots game day at 11:30 right here on WBZ. Pats and Bills kick off at 1. also on BZ, followed by the 5th quarter postgame show over on TV 38. Just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, the world's first ban on social media for kids is now in effect, the platforms that are being impacted. And we want to introduce you to this week's Wednesday's child. Yomaya is 15 years old. He has a passion for music and especially loves listening to Lady Gaga. He receives supportive services in many areas and communicates in part with sign language and other tools. For more information on Yomaya and the adoption process, head to our website, wbz.com.
Back, folks, let's get to what's next in your next weather forecast here. We're talking about mild temperatures taking over the region again today, along with some spot shower chances moving back in. We have a warm front moving north into the region, followed by a cold front arriving later today. So you know what that means. That means colder air moving in, and also winds are going to be gusty as well as we switch out from a bit of a high pressure to low pressure there. And also those drier conditions will be taking over, and that'll propel us right into the weekend here. Keeping an eye on some game day snow for us on Sunday as we extend our sunrise times. We're kind of pushing things back here. Later sunrises, later sunsets, but we're actually going to be getting an earlier sunset as we start to see a bit of that January flow move back in. So again, we're mild today. This is actually going to be the mildest over the next 7 before the coldest moves on in by the end of the 7-day. We'll talk about that. But look at the range of 30s that we have outside right now, with the mid-40s out on the islands as well. We can thank the southwest winds for that. They're going to be gusty later today, about 15 to 20 miles per hour. I'm not even expecting 25 mile per hour gusts, but you know, even if they go above 20 mile per hour gusts there, maybe topping out around 21, maybe even 22 there. So we're giving you an extra heads up here on this Wednesday morning, everybody. Go ahead and make sure that your inflatables, those holiday inflatables in the yard, are properly secured, because we actually have even higher gusts coming into the forecast for tomorrow. We're going to be right around 50 degrees for some areas south and east of town later on today. 44 is the average. So even going above average, I think we'll take it for this time of year, courtesy of the past 9 days being well below average, especially this past Monday and also last Friday. I'm not sure if you remember that. As rain chances ramp up towards the evening commute, that means we're actually going to put us back into the yellow in terms of an evening commute, sort of heads up there. I'm not expecting a whole lot of rain. Okay, we're actually going to have more drier air moving back in rather than a lot of wet and moist conditions there. We'll be around 35 to 40 plus mile per hour gusts for tomorrow afternoon behind the front. So let's walk this thing forward here. Keep an eye on the clock and your place on the map. Green starts to move back in on our weather palette, friends, as we near the evening hours. They're right around the drive at 5. And as we start to see some of that colder air moving back in, I think we also have a chance of some wintry mix now beginning to crawl eastbound out of the Berkshires and make its mark towards the Worcester County area. That's meaning central Mass. The northern portion of the state into Vermont and also New Hampshire, that'll likely gobble up the most of snow. We're expecting expecting that to be plowable, so don't worry about any sort of heavy snow there. 1 to 3 inches is going to be within that range. But as that frontal boundary begins to push even farther east, we'll start to get some of that colder weather kind of slipping down in that column of air. So we actually may have a few dusting, maybe up to a few extra flakes as we near the midnight hour. After that, though, friends, we're pretty much dry, but also gusty. This is sort of the anvil of that colder air on the leading edge. But as all of this rain that you see there, this area of low pressure, remember they are counterclockwise, is going to wrap around and it's going to propel some of that milder air along with those rain showers into the regions, which is why we're going to have sort of a split axis as we get towards the late evening hours. For the most part, we're dry as of right now. A few blowing flakes beginning to move into northern Mass and eventually move out of the Merrimack Valley. But again, this is mainly going to be a visual and probably just a few flakes. We're back to the mid-20s by Monday and climbing to around 30 degrees on Tuesday, so plenty of cold still lies ahead.
Well, a new law banning children under 16 from social media is now in effect in Australia. It is the first ban of its kind anywhere in the world. WBZ's Samantha Cheney is live in her satellite center with the controversy behind it and whether or not something similar could happen here, Sam.
Well, Brianna, it definitely is a conversation starter. While Australia's Prime Minister says this decision came straight from parents whose children's mental health was being affected by social media use, others, they say that the ban hurts democracy and free speech. The new law bans children under the age of 16 from using social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, Kick, Reddit, Twitch, and X, while gaming and messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Discord, and Roblox are still available. We're told companies that don't block kids could face a fine of up to $33 million. The decision has sparked outrage across the country, with some saying it's necessary, while others, they say they disagree.
Why are they not trusting us with the responsibility of having an account? Like, a lot of my friends have jobs, especially at this age.
I think the government has to do something, and I think if it's successful in Australia, which I think it probably will be, the rest of the world will probably follow.
Now, the tech industry has disagreed with Australia's ban, but companies, they say they'll implement it with age verification technology. Some lawmakers here in the U.S., they have pushed for regulations just like this one, but so far nothing has come together. Brianna?
All right, Sam, thank you. Well, happening this morning, Boston City Councilor at large Julia Mejia will host a press conference demanding updated cost estimates for White Stadium, the renovation project happening there. Mejia says residents deserve transparency about rising costs as the city deals with significant fiscal pressures. She's also filed a resolution calling for Boston Public Schools to better include the public in decisions to permanently close schools and move around students. She wants the district to release the data that's informing those decisions. Well, 2 dolphins are undergoing an evaluation after being rescued in Wareham. The Wareham Department of Natural Resources says the dolphins became stranded near Beaver Creek during low tide on Monday morning. Both of them were pulled from the marsh and checked out. It's not clear when they will be released. The Boston skyline could soon include a large J.P. Morgan Chase sign. The banking giant is seeking the city's approval to install and put its name on a 77-foot sign on the roof of the new South Station Tower. That's according to our partners at the Boston Business Journal. J.P. Morgan Chase has not yet signed a formal lease at the 51-story building. Well, it is the holiday gift that no one wants, stress. But according to a new poll this year, even more people are anxious as the season gets into full swing. Gwen Baumgartner reports from Los Angeles.
It's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, but to many Americans,
it's just stressful all around.
A new poll by the American Psychiatric Association finds there's growing anxiety ahead of the holidays.
Usually only 30% of Americans are stressed, but this year that number popped up to about 44%. So that was pretty alarming for us.
The top holiday-related concerns, worries about missing someone or grief, and affording or finding holiday gifts.
There is a lot of pressure to have the perfect holiday. People feel pressure to buy the right gift or to have the right spread at the holiday table.
That's felt by Christine Tomasian.
It's very expensive.
The APA offers a few ways to ease the financial pressure.
A potluck may be a wonderful time to have people over sharing in the expenses while not breaking the bank. Another thing is a holiday gift exchange. Pick a name out of a hat rather than paying for gifts for the whole family.
Though it's not always the cost of family that's stress-inducing, sometimes it's the people.
I have so many different family members that all want to see me at the same time, and they don't all get along, and it's just a disaster waiting to happen.
The poll also shows 1 in 3 adults worry about family dynamics.
The holiday hope is not lost. It's not just stress. People surveyed also anticipate a lot of joy this holiday season.
In fact, 44% of Americans say this time of year has a positive impact on their mental health and are looking forward to seeing friends and family, good food, and exchanging gifts. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, one of the biggest stars on the planet is dropping by The Late Show tonight.
You're watching WBZ News.
Taylor Swift's new Eras Tour docuseries drops today, but before that, she is stopping by a familiar late-night show. Colbert posting this video showing him dancing to Swift's song Opalite. The singer will appear on The Late Show tonight. You can watch it on WBZ after the 11 o'clock news. Coming up next, the vote tomorrow that could legalize pot cafes across Massachusetts.
You're watching WBZ News.
Well, you may soon see pot cafes pop up across Massachusetts. The state's Cannabis Control Commission is set to vote on new rules tomorrow. The social consumption regulations would allow customers to use what they buy right on the spot. Officials say multiple safeguards will also be included.
We mandated that licensees must have a ride-share plan, that they cannot commingle alcohol with cannabis.
I think it just helps a whole swath of people who just may not own their homes and may not have the ability to say, you know what, I want to consume this, I want to consume this now.
Even if the vote is formally approved tomorrow, it could be months or over a year before the first social consumption licenses are issued. Still to come in our next half hour, police are searching for a Grinch with a gun. Investigators looking for the public's help to find someone who took aim at Christmas decorations.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Right now on CBS News Boston, from rats to rotten sidewalks, how city leaders are taking on Boston's biggest problems. Plus, the shopping spree with kids that is shining a bright light on a magical season. And the new AI tech that could help to shorten your commute. Trash piles, broken sidewalks, and rats. Some of the everyday issues that Boston residents have been dealing with for years now. But according to city leaders, there's a renewed effort to tackle the biggest problems. WBZ's Aaron Parsegian has more on the plans.
Rats, trash, streets, and sidewalks. When there's a problem with any of those, it's probably one of the first things you notice.
It's the stuff that truly impact our residents on a day-to-day.
And with 2025 coming to an end, Boston city leaders and Mayor Michelle Wu are highlighting ramped-up efforts to tackle pesky problems. They're prioritizing.
Because Boston families deserve a government that fixes problems and follows through.
Over the past year, she says the city's 311 line has answered more than 260,000 calls, responding to anything from potholes to missed trash pickups, though the mayor says those were down more than 10% from last year.
Our teams continue to close the vast majority of missed trash cases within 24 hours.
It's an especially important effort in the fight against rodents. This year included new methods of taking out rats, using sensors to track where they're moving, and installing these new trash barrels to stop them from feeding.
2025 was not a good year for rats in Boston.
2026 won't be any better.
And what about the roads you drive on? The city says they've filled thousands of potholes and resurfaced more than 50 miles of street.
For context, we did 24 miles in 2024.
But for pedestrians, there's still a backlog to fix broken sidewalks, highlighted by our recent Question Everything story on State Street.
The sidewalks aren't taken care of.
Leaders say they have fixed 37,000 feet of sidewalk around the city this year and continue urging residents to highlight and report any problems they come across. The mayor says she's committed to making sure tax dollars are used where residents feel it most.
No excuses at the city level. Our residents expect and demand the very best from us, and it is an honor to try and deliver that every single day and to keep improving what we're doing.
In Boston, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ News.
Past few days, we had a little bit of ice out there on the trawl, still with some lingering ice, but poised to melt considerably over the next couple hours. That's mainly because warmer weather is moving back in here, friends. Temperatures as of right now are in the mid-30s here in the city there, but upper 40s and low 50s arriving for us later on this afternoon. That is the first thing on our weather headlines on this Wednesday morning. So we are waking up with not as a cold start that we've been dealing with for the past 9 days. Temperatures will be going above average later today, the first time that's happened in nearly 2 weeks there. High winds and cold air will be moving back in between tomorrow and also on Friday. And we're also keeping an eye on some low-level snow possible for us by the end of the weekend. Look at those rain chances ramping up there. Around a 40% chance as we near the drive at 5 through the early evening hours. That hour-by-hour forecast will keep those south winds becoming due south as we move into the afternoon. And look at those spot showers, just kind of tracing the Cape there as we get towards about dinner time later this evening, around 7 p.m. there. Mainly just dealing with some light to moderate shower activity in and around the Boston area, mainly for Worcester County there. Some areas north and also west across the central Mass region will likely have a bit of snow moving on in as well. That's mainly going to be for the high terrain areas there. Roughly around an inch or so can be expected, maybe a little bit of dusting in some of the metro west suburbs, but I believe north of the state line, that's when that range is actually going to be 1 to 3. After that, though, we are dry, and then we set the stage for high wind gusts possible for us on Thursday. We'll talk about those impacts and what it means for you and yours coming up.
Well, a man is facing animal cruelty charges after a traffic stop in West Bridgewater. We do want to warn you that some may find these images disturbing. This unfolded when an officer pulled over a driver who ran a red light last month, and that is when the officer noticed a severely malnourished dog in the car. The 9-month-old pup named Sprout was taken to veterinary hospital for medical care when police determined that the driver was Sprout's owner, Devin Preeper of Taunton, who's charged with animal cruelty. He is due in court later this month. And we're learning more about a massive fire at an apartment building in Taunton. We brought you this news as breaking yesterday morning. Investigators say the building on Hopkins Road had working alarms but no sprinkler system. Firefighters rescued 5 people from the complex, including a family of 3 with a small child. More than a dozen residents were forced out into the cold, and several of them were treated for smoke inhalation.
The flames are coming out through the bedroom window like this. I'm saying, oh my God, nobody's going to survive that.
It's a miracle nobody had passed away from it. It's really, somebody was definitely watching over the unit.
Investigators believe the fire started in a first-floor unit. There is no word yet on a cause. Police are searching for someone who shot a Christmas decoration. This happened yesterday morning in New Hampshire. You can see a bullet hole in a gingerbread man on Rising Wood Drive. The 2 inflatable snowmen weren't hit. Officers are asking neighbors to check their surveillance cameras to see if they captured anything suspicious. And drivers in Woburn could soon spend less time waiting at red lights thanks to artificial intelligence. The city's trying out a new AI traffic system. It's called No Traffic, and it monitors intersections with video and radar. It uses that real-time data to adjust wait times at lights, and the company says it improves safety for drivers and pedestrians. The goal is to prevent traffic jams and improve efficiency.
You're sitting at a light, it's middle of the night, it's red for you, it's green in the other directions, and you're not moving. So it solves those problems, but also uses more intelligence to be aware of who and what is at the intersection, and based upon that, makes the decisions in real time about what's the best, most efficient, and also the safest way to move all the traffic.
City of Boston's been working with Google on a similar project. They tested a handful of intersections last year and are now using AI research to make signaling more efficient at 114 intersections. Well, sirens off and smiles on. The Boston Police Department traded patrols for presents in the 17th annual Shop with a Cop event. Nearly 400 children teamed up with officers for a one-of-a-kind shopping spree. And as Julie McDonald shows us, a Greater Boston starts with fostering positive relationships within the community.
I'm excited, like joy in my brain and like my whole body.
Joy in their brain, joy in their body, and joy in every aisle of the South Bay Target Tuesday night.
My list is to buy the whole store.
We'll pick this up. It's something for you to practice on, okay?
This is the 17th year of the Boston Police Foundation's Shop with a Cop tradition.
I got the hands, I got Star Wars, I got this, I got the big Godzilla set.
And close to 400 pre-registered kids were counting down the minutes.
My brother thought it was last Tuesday, and he went bonkers.
I love this. I actually just came back from vacation, intentionally made sure that I would be here for today.
Each of the kids is given $100 to spend however they'd like throughout the store. I was blown away to hear who so many of them were shopping for.
I'm shopping for my little cousin and myself.
You're picking some things for your cousin too? Is she here?
No.
You're spending some of the gift card on your cousin?
Yes.
What are you, a little Christmas angel?
Yes.
I got this remote control because I wanted to give it to my brother for Christmas.
I got this Barbie doll for my little sister, and then I got my favorite book plushies so I can find the books.
I'm aiming for collectibles and stuff. And a gift from my mom.
My brother likes Hot Wheels.
With generosity from corporate sponsors, the MBTA, Suffolk County Sheriff's Department, Boston Fire and EMS join BPD to make this night magic.
They're our future, and maybe future police officers in the future. So this is a great day in general. We work hard all year long, but this one is a fun day.
The gift card is only for so much money. You'll see wallets coming out of back pockets. You'll see the smiles on cops' faces because this is what they truly do. Cops care, and our Boston cops care about our community.
In Boston, Julie McDonald, WBZ News.
Well, a celebrity from Dorchester spotted up on the North Shore visiting an iconic Saugus restaurant. Donnie Wahlberg loves the Kowloon. Stars CBS's new crime drama Boston Blue posed for this photo with an employee last night. The restaurant, which turned 75 this year, told Wahlberg he is welcome back anytime. Still to come on CBS News Boston, the Bert and Ernie Talk Football with Fourier crew discusses the monumental matchup ahead on Sunday between the Pats and the Bills.
Welcome back, friends. Okay, we're halfway through the week, so let's talk about how we're going to be settling up here as we near the end of the week, and also, of course, talk about the weekend here. We do actually have some rain chances moving back into our weather forecast for the remainder of our Wednesday evening, and that means we actually have some south winds moving back in. We have two systems that we're watching, okay? The first system is actually going to be a warm front moving into the region, which is why temperatures are going to be elevated. You perhaps already have noticed that heading outside this morning, temperatures are nowhere near as cold as what we've been dealing with here this week alone. We were talking about single-digit and sub-zero wind chills and even some teens in and around the area. And it's nice to wake up with temperatures right around the freezing mark, and that meant we actually had some reports of black ice earlier this morning. That will not be the case, though, as we head deeper into the afternoon, with more of the mid to upper 40s moving into the forecast board and also the lower 50s out on the islands as well. We are tracking a bit of light to moderate rain showers as we move towards the evening hours, especially in times for the 5 p.m. commute there. That'll likely continue in and around the Boston area through at least about 9 p.m. later this evening. And at the same time, we're watching a cold front swing in behind that warm front that's actually going to bring in colder weather, but also switch out from that rain to a little bit of wintry mix there. Some of those snow showers that we see on radar here as we move throughout the evening hours is going to be very light. We're talking about maybe a dusting. If anything, any accumulating snow will be right around an inch or so. But if you're north of the state line, if you know people north of the state line, right around the northern Mass region there, we're talking about 1 to 3 inches of snow there for you. So some fresh powder on the ground. As we go throughout the overnight hours, that drier air will begin to take over and colder temperatures will begin to move back in. But as of right now, we have positives all across the board, 20 to 30 plus degrees that are warmer from 24 hours ago. That is great news for us here, and certainly this time of year. 36 degrees in the city right now, 1 degree cooler down in Norwood, 36 also along the South Shore, and lower 40s taking over east of the Bourne Rotary there, down towards Buzzards Bay. We're also around 40 degrees as well. Still locked into the upper 20s over in Worcester, but you'll join us here in the 40s as we head into the afternoon. Don't worry. Southwest winds right now, they become due south as we get closer to that frontal boundary moving on in, and then that's when we start to see a lot of changeover begin to happen. So enjoy the warm up while we have it. It is not to return at least over the next 7 days. And normally this time of year, they're very short and also tempered anyway. 44 degrees is where we should be for this time of year. 31 degrees is the average low for this time of year. So we're actually going to above for the start and also the finish. Tomorrow's theme will be geared around high winds moving into the region. We're talking about 35, 40 plus mile per hour gusts. You see that colder air, you also see this warmer air. So we're actually going to wrap around this warmer air moving on into the region there, which is why mainly going to be dealing with some showers east of 495 and 95 southbound. Wind gusts for tomorrow. Let's move the clock forward here quickly. As you can see there around 4 p.m. tomorrow, we're talking about 40 plus mile per hour gusts for P-Town, around 30 plus mile per hour gusts here in the city. The weekend though, because it's Wednesday, we're already eyeing the weekend, will be right around the freezing mark for both Saturday and Sunday. And as we back out here, you can see by Saturday evening into the overnight, a few flakes moving into the region, but largely that area of low pressure will stay south of town, and that'll keep a lot of the heavier snow and even rain showers outside of the region as well. But we'll pick up a lot of that cold air heading out into early next week, 20s for afternoon highs on Monday.
Well, Patriots-Bills is the talk of the NFL world. New England can clinch a playoff spot and the AFC East title with a win against Buffalo. Our Steve Burton caught up with Ernie Adams and Christian Fourier last night to discuss all of the storylines ahead on Sunday.
Hat and T-shirt game. Patriots win it. If they win it, they clinch the AFC East title.
And it'll be a great atmosphere at Gillette Stadium on Sunday. You know, everybody's been on the Patriots about strength of schedule. There's no question they're playing a good playoff quality team who's got a lot to play for on Sunday. So this is, get your popcorn out. This will be a good one to watch.
You know, but when the season starts, when they show up in August and they start talking about what their goals are, and, you know, some teams don't want to admit what their goals are because they're fearful if they don't reach them, people are going to be critical of them. Most of the locker rooms I've been in, we address first place. We want to make sure we win our division. You win your division, and then you can start talking about. But before you do anything, you got to win your division. And then if you don't win your division, it's a playoff. So this is a milestone for them. This is a big accomplishment, especially how bad they have been the last 3 years.
Well, they haven't done it yet, but they have a chance. They have a chance to do it.
Right, but this is, you get the anticipation is building. Everybody knows it's a big game. I mean,
is this like a playoff game?
He'll have some similarities. I mean, a playoff game is instant death. You drop a pass, we're going to go lift weights, get ready for the next off season. But it will have a similar atmosphere. I mean, everybody just okay, hat and T-shirt game. They know we win the division. That's as like Christian said, that's a big milestone for this team, particularly where they were at even the start of the season.
Especially, it's going to be especially special for the young guys, right? Mm-hmm. These guys. Now, you've played in so many of these games. You coach so many of these games. You get your hat and your T-shirt. What do you do with it?
Save it. No, you put it on. You wear it around the
that day.
Sure, absolutely. I mean,
But there's more.
Right, but it's a first step. But it's just winning a game in the National Football League is hard. Winning your division, that's significant.
I think I wore mine home, and I don't think I ever wore it again. It was, and I think maybe I'm just greedy that way. I just felt like it was cool, but I wasn't satisfied with that. I just felt there was a bigger goal for the team collectively, and that was kind of what. And we were talking about. We never ran around saying Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl or bust. It was just, we want to win. And that was one of those little awards that you would get. You just kind of collect them, put it in your back pocket, and you don't talk about it anymore.
All right, so here's the situation. If the Patriots don't win, if they don't beat Buffalo on Sunday, they can still win the title, AFC's title, if they beat Miami and the Jets. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? This is not a must-win for the Patriots, but it makes things a lot easier if they go out and win it.
Right, but that's the difference between a real playoff game, which is obviously must win. But I think you go into this game as a player or a coach, you think, hey, we're playing a real good team. If we really want to do something, now's our time to show what we've got. You enjoy getting ready for games like this.
Let's talk about two quarterbacks that are facing each other. Okay, Josh Allen, Drake May. Josh Allen won the MVP last year. Drake May's up for it this year. If Drake May outshines Allen, now, we can't obviously forget about Matthew Stafford. But if Drake May outshines Allen in this game, what does that do for his status for MVP?
Look, every time Drake May goes out and plays well, that's what's important. I'm not hung up. I mean, anything you're voting for, to me, it's like the college playoffs. I mean, you take that with 4 grains of salt. The big thing is for Drake May and the rest of the Patriots, go out and play a real good, solid football game.
I do think people are looking at this game as not a passing of the torch, but a comparison. And just like the Heisman Trophy, they like to create a comparison.
Right.
So now you have last year, and I think it's fair that does it mean that Drake May is ultimately better than Josh Allen? I don't know yet because we have a long history with Josh Allen. But if he goes out there and he wins the game and he brings them from behind, similar to what Josh Allen did last week when they played the Ravens, they're absolutely going to say, because I don't think they want to give it to Drake May. I don't think they want to. I think they want to give it to Matthew Stafford. So there needs to be something tangible that they can use when they go on all these talking head shows.
Well, make it 3 wins in a row for the Bruins. They beat their former coach Jim Montgomery and the St. Louis Blues last night. David Pastrnak was back in the lineup after missing 5 games with a lower body injury. He had 2 assists on the night. Mark Kastelik and Fraser Minton each scored 2 goals. Bruins win at 5-2. They'll be in Winnipeg to face the Jets tomorrow. Coming up in the next hour, it's day 8 in the murder trial of Brian Walsh, the Cohasset man accused of killing his wife Anna. The jury is expected to hear key testimony from a friend of the Walshes who spent time with them in the hours before Anna's death. We will be streaming that all morning on CBS News Boston. Good morning. It's 8:53. I'm Brianna Pitts. We have today's top stories. But first, meteorologist Jason Michael is here with a look at the next weather forecast. Jason, I know we have some activity headed our way. At least it's a little bit warmer this morning.
I know it is a little bit warmer, and we'll take what we can get.